afraid of the dark glow on my face, and you're like, we're going live.
No, who cares? Hi, everybody. Welcome to Casino Chat with Bougie Miles, Travel Fanboy, and The Better Life, a.k.a. Tim. Okay, so I don't see that anybody's joined, so I have no idea if this is working or not, because I know that we have at least, like, 2 people who have to watch. So, yeah. And now it's exactly 2.
There you go.
Hi, Rick. So Rick says hello.
How do I see these people?
Are you in the, like, do you see the chat on the side?
Live comments. There we go. I was in the private chat. The the members only chat.
Yep.
Yep.
The one where we talk shit about it.
The influencer hour.
That's right. I'm a shirt now.
I love
your T-shirt, Adam, was pretty brilliant. That Travel Fanboy T-shirt with the hashtag influencer. You want to know why?
Why is that?
At least once every 7 to 10 days, I fucking think about you. Like,
yeah,
there's no not putting on that shirt without thinking, oh, Adam.
Him. No F-bombs.
My apologies.
No problem. I do it all the time. I've only just gotten used to it. So.
That was all planned, though. Just getting people to think about me is all I want.
Well, I love that shirt, but I wish that it was cotton. For everybody who doesn't know, are you going to, like, do a re-release of the
Yeah, we're going to do that soon.
Okay. So for everybody who doesn't know, Adam a while back did a T-shirt for charity, and I bought one, and it's my favorite. I actually got teased because I went to send a selfie of myself in the T-shirt and took, like, obviously 40 selfies before I sent the actual one to Twitter. And I didn't realize that when I took the screenshot, it showed all the selfies on the bottom. So, like, it was very clearly thinking of, like, 40 different pictures. And somebody said, you realize that you sent all the selfies, right? And I was like, it's a good thing that it's an adorable shirt, so they all looked good. But
great. It's comfy, too.
Yes. The only thing is, can the next one be a little more cotton?
More cotton. All right. I'll try.
Thanks. I'll pay extra, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I have no opinion on how much cotton it is.
Well, you should because, we don't have to get into that today. It's healthier. It's much better for you.
I see.
Okay, so let's tell everybody where they can find us first while I get up the screenshots of Cosmo. So let's start with our special guest. Tim, where can everybody find you? What day does the podcast drop? Hi, Gina.
Hi, Gina. From Boston. I like that. I am the better life. Well, I guess I am the better life. I almost corrected myself saying I'm only half of it, but that's not true. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna cry a little bit. I am the only member of the better life at the moment. I'm at the better life on Twitter, and you can find our podcast. Goodness, this is a transition. This is tough. You can find my podcast anywhere podcasts can be found, and I talk about gambling, and I talk to gamblers about gambling and more gambling.
That's fair.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. All right, Adam, what about you?
Travelfanboy.com, where I post things like once every 3 or 4 months. I'm on a very similar podcast schedule too, but Twitter at TravelFanboy is probably the easiest place to interact.
Okay, so what does this screen look like? Well, okay, so as you can see, I spent a lot of time on the graphics here because that was obviously most important. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about Cosmopolitan today and their program, which is Identity Rewards, and how it dovetails with Marriott and their program, which is Bonvoy. So I don't know. What do you guys? Hi, Han. Hi, Chris. I love all of you. Okay, so how does everybody feel about Cosmo?
I think I just mentioned on my last episode with Just 1-1 about how the Cosmo is a place that I love going to, love being in. I've loved visiting the rooms when I'm, like we had a whiskey tasting up there, stuff like that. But I've never stayed there, and it blows my mind now that like when I realize that, because I know that I would love it.
Okay, that's fair. What about you, Adam? Have you stayed there?
I haven't stayed there. It's I think between that and Wynn are kind of the 2 only like remaining hotels I really need to and want to stay at in Las Vegas. But I don't know. I feel like when people think of swanky Las Vegas, it's like Cosmo is top of the list. I mean, great location. It's got a great restaurant scene too. I think it pretty much rivals like the Mandalay Bay complex. I mean, there's a ton down in the Mandalay Bay complex, but I think there's for a place that has such a limited kind of landscape, or like, obviously it's a very tall hotel, but you know what I mean? But like, it doesn't take up a ton of real estate on the Strip. And so for everything that's kind of jam packed in there, it's a great place.
Yeah. So to your point, the restaurant scene there is, so when they first opened, it was good, but then they turned everything into like basically all the quintessential New York restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, now they have that, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like a food court. And they have in the food court some of the best meals I've ever had in Vegas, like Hattie B's fried chicken. Mm-hmm. And my new absolute favorite place to go is for sushi hand rolls. It's called Tekka, Tekka. And it's like $4 for like a little hand roll of like, I think the one that I loved was scallop, and I don't even love sushi. And it's been my favorite thing to eat in Vegas the last 3 times I've gone. So awesome place. Okay. So a little bit about Cosmo, and the reason that I think Adam and I wanted to cover it is because I think that it is one of the most underappreciated programs that are available to gamblers and travelers to Vegas, but it is of limited utility because it's really only in Vegas unless you're a Marriott person. So I'm going to quickly run through the logistics of the program, and then you guys can ask all of the Vegas questions. They don't have to be Cosmo or Marriott or anything. Just want to make everyone aware of everything and let them know what they're missing if they have not been there. Okay, so these are like my actual notes. All right, so first things first. The interesting thing with Cosmo and Marriott is that you earn more points for spending at the hotel than you do for actually gambling. And if you're a big gambler, the only gambling that you actually earn points on towards your status is, this is not working. Sorry, everybody.
It was fine. I think the way it was before.
Okay, that's fine.
Pull that up. Rick says it's too bougie for you. Cosmo's nothing but swank. Chris acting like that's a bad thing. Let's see. Joe, is Cosmo tied to MGM? No, and I think that's why this is kind of the more interesting chat for me. Is I think there's that obvious MGM Hyatt partnership, the Caesars Wyndham partnership, but I don't think Cosmo Bonvoy gets a ton of play in the community in terms of it's not written about too much. And I think maybe, Bethany, you're right. It's probably because it is more Vegas centric. What that means is you'll probably see a couple of big outlets in the next week or two after this goes live start writing about it, because that just tends to be what happens.
So for everybody who pays attention to the other outlets, don't forget Adam and I did it first. Okay. So the cool thing about Cosmo is that you can only stay there in Vegas, but you can use all of the rewards that you earn anywhere in the world, because Marriott Bonvoy has the largest hotel footprint of any hotel chain that I can think of. And you can transfer your identity points to Marriott, but we digress. Okay. First, let's just talk about like how much money do you spend in a day when you go to the casino? Let's say you're staying for a night and you're going for like a full pool day. You're going to go to dinner and then you're going to gamble at night, right? How much are you spending at the pool, like per person? If you're not super cheap, you're just mildly frugal.
I mean, it's easy to rack up $100, $200 per person. Depending on how long you're there, at least, especially a place like Cosmo.
Yes, because the drinks are $14.
Yeah.
They're not that big. So let's say like on a casual day when I'm not trying to get like totally wasted, I'm drinking like 4 or 5 drinks at the pool from, like 12 to like 5, right?
Right.
Before you go back, take your nap and get ready for dinner. So we're looking at like $110, and that's like on a day where maybe I don't eat or something, because like I'm trying to get, whatever. Okay. So there you go. So you are now 1/4 of the way. I'm gonna edit that out for the actual thing. You're now 1/4 of the way toward beginner level identity status, since you get 5 points per dollar on that $100, right?
Okay.
A couple is now earning 1,000 points, which actually gets you 1/4 of the way to their sterling status, which gives you a free night. And that includes resort fees and taxes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, most comp nights do not include resort fees or taxes, right? They're also giving you 1,000 points, which you can then transfer to 800 bonvoy points. So that's another thing to sort of think about. So
Okay, wait, say that one more time. So we got four. It takes 4,000 tier points to get to sterling.
Yes.
Okay. If you're using your card on property, you're going to get 5 points per dollar.
Yes.
So if you like your pool example, I think it's really good. It's very practical. And so like a couple staying at the pools probably would be already just at the pool 1/4 of the way there. And that gets you a free night?
Yes.
Okay.
Any night of the year. I've used it on a $450 Saturday night. You use it on New Year's Eve. I called one year just to make sure that they had, because I'm always like testing things out for my people.
Right.
I wanted to make sure that they had availability for the free night. And the only time I've ever been told no is when I called too close to the date that I wanted.
Okay.
So as long as you book it in advance, you are good to go. It includes your fees and taxes. Cosmo is actually, I think that they just raised it, or they spoke about raising it, but they actually have, to me, one of the lower resort fees out of the properties. I think it's like their second after Caesars. It's only $35 or $38 a night. So
it's sad that we say only for that now.
Well, yeah, but then like if you think about like the tax like compounds on it, and then it adds so much extra money. Like MGM is $50 extra per night, when you include taxes. So it's pretty cool that Cosmo includes all of that, because that's basically like just an extra $50 on top of your free night that the other ones don't have, unless of course you have Caesar's Diamond status, which we've discussed.
Yeah.
So the other cool thing about Cosmo for gamblers is that you get one tier point, which is how so basically their rewards are broken up into two things. There's tier points and there's rewards points, right? Tier points are just what your player level is. And reward points are those that you can cash in for benefits or cash like perks or free play, stuff like that. So I think the other casinos kind of require like double the amount of coin in on slots over Cosmo. So Cosmo gives you 1 tier point for every 250 bet. A lot of the other casinos require like 5, and I think that Venetian and Palazzo requires like 10. So that's just, and like, do you guys hear the Foster dog? I'll introduce him at 8:20 when my waiter comes to bring me my drink.
So I didn't do any research prior to this, but it feels right where you're saying it's a lower amount of coin in for slots to earn. Video poker is like, what is it, like 1 point for every $6 or something like that?
Yes, but not tier points. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah, BP only earns rewards points, not tier points.
Okay.
And I know you are like the video poker pro, so
semi-pro.
So basically, I follow all of the casino guys, right? But I do not play video poker. I know like jacks or better is a good one to play, and I have no idea what to hold or not. That's why I always talk to Coach Kitty before I go to Vegas. But do you have any idea like what the other ones earn, or if that's a good number for rewards points? Adam?
I was going to default to Tim because I pay so little attention to that stuff, which is really sad considering the time I like to spend there.
I figured you would have known about video poker because I feel like I always see you talking about that and your what is it, like quad aces or something?
Yeah, I never pay attention to that stuff.
All right, Tim.
It's sad.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to give you numbers on every one of them. I used to have a co-host on my show who would be really, really great at answering this stuff. But I do.
Eric.
So you said it. So what's an identity points? I see, like when you go to their page, it calls. Is that the reward points or is that the tier points?
It's both. So
okay, so video poker, according to their website, does get you an identity points for every $6 wagered on video poker.
Yes, but I'm wondering how that relates to the other casinos.
So, I mean, I've seen upwards of $10 before. $10 gets you a point. It really, I mean, every casino, every program has their own, stack of, this point is this, base points, reward points, and tiers, and a lot of times the ratio kind of shakes down to sort of be the same. But $6 for one base point, depending on sort of where that goes, is a little bit better than some of the nicer properties that what they're giving.
Yeah. And so the other cool thing about it is once you get that status that only costs you $500 to earn, that sterling, the base status, the one that comes with the free night, they also double that. So that's just for rewards credits. But that's pretty good. And then if you get to platinum, which I believe would require like 10K in spend per year. So obviously, that's a significant amount more. Although I know plenty of people who can do that in like a night, right?
Yeah.
I'm not that bougie yet. Okay, so there are 3 ways to redeem identity points. Same way as pretty much everywhere else, right? Your resort credits, free play in slots, but those can only be redeemed if you earn them gambling. One thing that people hate about Cosmo is that you don't earn points on table play, which is actually similar to MGM, right? Because MGM says we don't rate you based on your table play, but you know that you're getting comps for that. Cosmo, I'm not so sure.
I imagine if you're working with a host, your table play matters.
Well,
I imagine if you already have the Cosmo's attention, that they're paying attention. Which I think to what you're saying, if I just walk in and throw my identity card on the table, they're not just going to start paying attention to who I am as a gambler until someone else at their institution does.
You got to be wearing a very nice, comfy T-shirt with a very specific word on it, and then that's how you do it.
That's the only way. That or earning the points.
Well,
yeah. I know people who go and like don't have to pay for a thing, but I'm sure that the person I'm thinking of has never checked their account to see how many tier points they had because they didn't need to, Okay, so there are a couple of hacks to booking Cosmo, which kind of gets into like the stuff that I know like we love. Number 1, Founder's Card. I have consistently found the Founder's Card is the second best way to book Cosmo of any of the portals of anything because they have the best rate. They actually have a negotiated rate that tends to be about 15 to 20% less than whatever the best rate you'll find on their website is. So that's pretty good. It comes with a $25 credit. And then it also comes with like little things like you're much more likely to get your upgrade. And you used to be able to access the priority check-in lounge that is now only for gold people, but you can still go to the Marriott priority check-in lounge.
Okay.
The other thing is nobody's ever asked me if I was gold or not. They have free champagne, chocolate-covered strawberries.
Oh, so now we're getting to why you like it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so basically here's what I do. I walk past the coffee place every morning that charges $7 for a cup. I go, I make my own latte with Bailey's in the gold lounge. Then I wait until they put out the chocolate covered strawberries. I take a full plate of them, go back to my room. I come back, grab a Red Bull, and I'm good for the day. I saved like $25, right?
Oh, that's
It actually is a pretty decent amount of value you're extracting there. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good.
I mean, think about like just your latte at a casino is at least $7, right? And then don't forget it. Red Bull. You're looking at like at least a $10 drink.
Yeah.
And I'm putting
how crazy. Why is Red Bull the drink that somewhere gets the like they'll bring me whiskey or anything that's way more. You ask for a Red Bull and like, well, we're not allowed to comp Red Bulls. Like, do you owe Red Bull money? Like, what? What's going on? It seems like Red Bull is the hardest thing to get casinos to give you for free.
It's so funny that you say that because Borgata has been like, I think they just started giving it out for free. I don't know how like all of this is going to affect that, but forever it was, oh, we only serve free Red Bull in that pit. And it was like the $50 blackjack pit, which I mean, I'm not going to play, like if I'm paying 25, I can't justify the bump up for like a Red Bull, which I can just buy in the grocery store for $10 at Cosmo.
Red Bull must have some sort of distributing contract with a number of certain liquors because it blows my mind that like Monster isn't the alternative, right? Like, all right, if you can't give me a Red Bull, give me a Monster then. Give me a Rip It for crying out loud, right? Like, yeah, they have to have some crazy distribution contract that keeps them in every in all these venues with these liquors.
And that it's expensive. That's like, yeah. Although Cosmo is actually one of the best when it comes to that. They, I've never had them say, we don't comp that here, you know? They also have like top of the line everything. You know how like sometimes you go to a casino and you're like, what's the best scotch you have? And they're like Dewar's.
Seagram's, yeah.
And you got to go, you know, at that point, you're just like, if I can't get a black here, like I don't want to be here. Okay.
All right, so wait, with the $25 credit, what is that like food and beverage? Is that just like a general resort credit?
Just resort credit, yeah.
Okay.
You can use it on anything except taxes and fees.
And by the way, the founder's card, I don't know why you're the first person to bring up the fact that the first person I've heard, and I don't know, maybe Adam spoke about it on one of his 12 podcasts he's put out in the past decade, but I had founder's card and it totally skipped past me that Cosmo was a value there.
Yeah. So okay. So here's the thing. Here's the difference between you and I, and you know why I do this. I am like a searcher. You know how like some people are like Adam and I talked about this last time. He's like big picture. I am like, what is the most minute like detail that I can find that's like interesting? And so like occasionally I'll spend an entire day just like going through every single founder's card benefit and like dummy booking hotels because like I have no life other than like this, you know? So I will do that. And occasionally that's how you find like the things that I find.
So you said that, so amazing booking rate through their portal for Cosmo. Is the disparity between that and not having the founder's card enough to warrant having it just for Cosmo or no?
Okay, well, I think that depends on how many times a year you're going to book Cosmo and how many nights you're going to stay, right? Okay. So, well, right now, the absolute best way to book Cosmo would be to go onto their website and book the Revel in Rewards rate. After 2 nights at the Revel in Rewards rate, which is the exact same rate that they have for the standard hotel room at Cosmo. So it's about $15 to $40 more depending on how expensive the night is. They will give you free Sterling status at just 2 nights. And I found it at the price of $130 for the base room. $130 plus taxes and fees. So you're looking at like $170 for 2 nights. So $340 will get you Sterling status for a year, which gives you the free night and everything else that we're talking about. So that's how I would do it. But as far as founder's card goes, yes, I think it's worth it if you go to Vegas enough. And like, okay, so we go every year for the World Series of Poker. So we're staying like a week to maybe 12 days, right? Then of course it's worth it because, you know, I'm saving anywhere from, I mean, last year I booked the wraparound terrace suite for $205 a night.
Yeah, that's good. So this rate is this like a promotional rate that you can find on the site? Like what, how are you coming across this?
The Revel in Rewards one. Yeah. It's at cosmopolitan.com. Go to like book a room or whatever and look at packages. Okay. And you'll
all right, good to know.
There, yeah, it's the same. And I've noticed, like I've played around with it, it's the same exact rate as the regular Cosmo rate. So like But yes, you can get a better rate that maybe includes like a $50 credit, or you can do the founder's card rate. But like for an extra $80, wouldn't you rather have, oh, hi.
Mm-hmm.
For an extra $80, wouldn't you rather have the free night? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, can I introduce everybody to my foster dog?
Yes.
Come here. So, okay, this is Tiger Woods. Yeah, I've always wanted a dog named Tiger Woods. And I decided this foster dog was going to be it. Say hi.
Puppy.
Okay.
Oh, good boy.
Since Tiger didn't do very well yesterday, I needed to make him a winner. So okay. Anyway,
so Chris is a good question here. I think maybe if we talk really quick just about the other two ways to book, and then answer Chris's question, because he's asking about, because he has status, if these are also good ways to book.
Yes. Okay. You know what? Yeah. Well, let's quickly run through this since I can't figure out how to share the screen, and then we will answer the questions. Okay. So the other way to book is my favorite way. Adam knows I love to cover this. It's the MasterCard World Elite portal. I think we covered this last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I think that they somehow screwed up where they don't realize that their rates include taxes. So they always have the cheapest rate. And on top of that, they are including taxes, which is like an extra $30 per night. And then on top of that, most of the time, the cheapest rate includes breakfast, which is an $80 credit. So like, I don't know what they accidentally did or how they did it, but like whenever I message the MasterCard people just to make sure, because I'm like, oh, so, you know, like I'm going to book the suite for $135 with breakfast included. Yeah. I'm like, can you just tell me which suite that is? Like it matters at that point, you know?
Right.
And yeah, that's available to anybody who can, who has a World Elite MasterCard. And most of them, you would be surprised, like the JetBlue card counts and it's only $100 a year card.
Right.
So that's my favorite way to book it. Let's see what else we got.
And I think you mentioned in there, like the Amex Fine Hotels Resorts, Chase Luxury Hotel Resorts collection, it'll be available there, but it doesn't seem like it's as good or getting as great a deal as the MasterCard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I go to like that's how I'm doing it 100%. Like if I'm not doing LHRC, I'm not doing FHR, I'm definitely doing MasterCard because it includes taxes and fees and it's always the same price.
Yeah.
Actually, many times I've noticed it's been less. Like lately, I mean, and nobody really wants to go to Vegas like at the moment, but there are some people who are still going. And if you do go, please let me know because I want to come. Like I noticed like Mandalay Bay the other night. It was $69, including taxes, with the $100 resort credit. So,
what is this MasterCard booking portal?
So, if you have a MasterCard, you have your wallet with you.
I don't have a wallet, but yes, I have the things that people typically keep in their wallet around me. Yes.
All right. Do you have any MasterCards?
Yes. In fact, I have two, I believe.
All right, take them out.
Whoa. And then put it up to your camera.
First measure it. No.
You guys need to see the 3 numbers on the back, right? That's what tells you if like
and your mother's maiden name, if you don't know.
Well, let me 2 MasterCards.
Okay, look on the back, and what does the silver thing say?
The fuck? Oh, sorry, goodness.
The hologram.
Live radio.
You know, I stopped myself at least 3/4 of the way through. I don't think they know what word I was about to say. I think I stopped myself one time. I don't know. What does it say? I don't know what it says.
World Elite or World. Okay, so basically, if it says World Elite, that means it's a World Elite MasterCard. You are able to sign up for the portal for free and take advantage of. Basically, it's like an online travel agency.
I've never looked at this thing over.
I know, because why would you? Because this is why Adam and I are special, and especially me.
I mean, it's a picture of a globe, and I see.
Okay.
World Elite or World? All right. Well, while you're doing that while you figure it out.
We'll cover this on the next episode. We'll have a big reveal.
Okay, so here's what I would do if I was everybody out there right now and I was looking to book a cheaper night with points. Do not use Marriott points for Cosmo. I'm going to say that again. Do not use bonvoy points for Cosmo. If you need to use points for Cosmo, redeem them for gift cards through the bonvoy portal. That is like so taboo in our business because people are always like, gift cards are the worst. You know, your worst rate per point, right? But it just so happens that you can get $100 Marriott gift cards for 25,000 bonvoy points.
Okay.
Okay. Now, guess how many nights it costs? I mean, guess how many points it costs to book Cosmo with points? 85,000 points per night. Now, let's do the math.
Okay.
That's approximately $320 worth of gift cards. 85,000 points would get you approximately $320 in gift cards, right? I think it might be like $330. Now, let's look at an example. Here's a rate. It's just the regular rate. Per night, you can see it comes out to like $240, right? So you could have just purchased those gift cards with, wait, where is it? There you go. With 100,000 Marriott points. You would also earn bonvoy points on this, plus identity reward points and tier points.
Okay.
So basically, you'd be saving a ton of money.
Okay.
Right?
So the idea is, so we've got this partnership between Cosmo and Marriott, right? And you can book Cosmo with bonvoy points if you have them. But the lesson I'm learning here, and for everybody in the chat, I'm learning this at the exact same time you are, is that it's actually more efficient point-wise to just redeem your bonvoy points for Marriott gift cards because you can use the Marriott gift cards to book your Cosmo stay. And it's kind of just a more efficient way to spend your points.
Yes. And also,
A+.
Yes, thank you so much. Adam is really good at the things I'm not. Thanks to people. I'm like, here's all this amazing information. Figure it out.
No, it's because a lot of times things go over my head and I have to just make sure that I fully comprehended it because then I'm just, I've got what's ends up happening is I have, $1,800 worth of Marriott gift cards. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing with them.
Oh my God. So I'm going to take a picture for when this goes live on YouTube and you can see all of the MasterCard gift cards that I have. I have no idea what I'm ever going to do with because somebody told me to buy them because they were like 5 times the points. And now I'm like, why did I ever do this? But anyway, yeah, so I actually did recently purchase 10 bonvoy gift cards.
Okay.
For, I think it was 250,000 points. And now I have $1,000 to spend. Normally, that's not like the best rate. But in Vegas, where all of the hotels are your top tier as far as reward nights for pretty much every hotel chain.
Right.
It almost never makes sense to pay points rather than cash. The other thing about that is that if you pay points, you're not earning the loyalty stuff. So you're not ever going to get that status. But okay, so I guess maybe to quickly sum it up for everybody, if I was going to book Cosmo right now, how would I do it? Number one, I would go with the rate that we talked about earlier that gives you the free status because basically you're turning 2 cheap nights into free status, which is good for a year at any night. Second, I would probably do MasterCard. Third, I'm going Founders Card. And then fourth, I'm doing the points.
Okay. But I mean, I think, there's probably some people, especially like that are just kind of more, maybe not so Vegas centric, but they just have a bunch of points and miles. Maybe they're going to Vegas. They've got a bunch of Marriott points stacked up. And they don't want to pay cash because we know a lot of people have an aversion to that. And so it's and so you can just get the gift cards on the Marriott site. Are they like e-gift cards? Are they shipping them via USPS? So it's going to come here in November
I got them all here. Yeah, are they coming in November? Okay, so interestingly, they came in like 3 days. That's
awesome. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Yep, I did that once for IHG, and they sent me a bunch of gift cards about 3.5 months later,
Yeah.
and expired within 2 weeks.
Right.
I was like, this is a joke, right? Like,
but that's good to know. I mean, if someone's like, oh, I want to book this room tomorrow, well, there's going to be some lag time there. So if you're going the points route, it's going to take a little bit.
Yeah. And also don't forget it is Marriott. So, what is true today may not be true tomorrow. All right. So I feel, and then the last thing that I wanted to tell everybody was turn those points back into points. So we've talked about this before. I know I talk about it all the time. There is no reason that you can't double dip. They tell you you can't. They tell you that you can't double dip, but it's not true. What is Joe saying? Oh, hi, Joe. Hi, hon. Yeah. So basically, what you do is here's what I like to do. When you go with two people, if you go like with a significant other or a friend, I like to put the room in one person's name, right? And then the other person pays for everything with their card. So like, let's say Adam and I are at the pool together, right? I am having my name on the room, which is getting paid totally separately. And while we're at the pool, Adam is paying for all of the drinks by, giving his ID and telling them to add it to my room, right? You're going to get those Cosmo points. I'm going to get the Marriott points.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen situations where I've quadrupled it on those. Well, triple. Because basically what I did was I had my significant other give his ID. I added it to my room. I then took the receipt to the Cosmo desk. So basically what I do.
This is like ridiculously intense. This is where I talk about where people go next level.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they lose me. This is nuts.
But think about how simple it actually is at the end of the day, right? So like
And Tim's been over there for 8 minutes trying to figure out if his card is a World Elite MasterCard. We're beyond simple.
I'm excited when I get the promo code to work in booking. Goodness.
I have a good promo code for you too. Yeah. So,
okay, so you go to the front desk. So we're at the pool.
We're at the pool.
Your room, using your significant other's card. And now you're going, what's the purpose of going down to the desk?
Just to see if they'll give the other person credit for the receipt.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So it's happened. And every once in a while, they're like, no, this was added to a Mr. Bonana.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's what I'd be like. What the hell's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So basically, you're just trying to get as many free points as possible from every outlet. Because why not?
Yeah. Yeah. That's worth a shot.
Yeah. So there you go. And then the last thing is with those points, people are like, oh, I don't want to spend that much money at Cosmo because I can't use the points. False. You can transfer them to bonvoy points at a rate of 5 to 4, which if anybody knows anything about transferring from loyalty programs to another, that's an excellent transfer rate.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's basically like an extra 4 points per dollar because you're getting 5 points per dollar from identity. Then transferring them to 4 points to Marriott. And, if you're already a Marriott member, you're earning anywhere from 10 to 20 points per dollar anyway. So it's basically just an extra 4 points if you can't use them at Cosmo. And yes, gift cards do count for status and credit.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So you just have to add it to your, you can't add it to your room, but you can give your identity card. So yeah, you can use gift cards. And then the last thing I promise is, is you can't earn all of this stuff on the third-party vendors. So I was under the impression that I was going to go get an IV this year, because I love to do that in Vegas. I always go for an IV. It brings you back to life. Since it's a third-party vendor or an outside vendor, you don't earn status or points on that.
Okay. So all those people frantically Googling, do IVs earn identity points? That strong SEO value search term.
Should I do a
I think you should. Yeah.
You look up Vegas IVs, you're gonna find something you probably don't want to be a part of out in Vegas.
Yeah. Or maybe you'll find my YouTube video of me actually getting one. I did that while I was in Cosmo. All right, cool. So what questions does everybody have? Hi, Ben.
I do have one from Mike. He sent it through on both Facebook and YouTube, and I want to make sure we got to it, and I told him we would. So he said, I actually thought it was a joke at first, and I thought it was funny, but then I think he's serious. So I'm sorry, Mike, for thinking it was a joke. He said he tried booking through the MasterCard portal that you talked about, but he ended up speaking to a travel agent in Britain. What did I do wrong? Asks Mike.
So much. Okay.
Oh, you got to go to the Cosmo front desk, Mike.
So much. There's multiple steps he took that are wrong here.
All right, so here's what you did wrong. Well, first,
and she knows what they are too. That's the funny part. She's like, I've been there and know exactly what you did.
I mean, you have no idea, Tim. If you could like be in my brain for like a day, you're my it's a lot, and it's a lot of experiments, you know. So, all right, here's what you did wrong. I'm guessing that you did you actually try to book through the through the link that you signed up with, or did you try doing it separately? That's my first question. Second is try the chat. What happens through the chat is that they won't give you a rate right there. They'll say, oh, give me the best email. And then they'll email you, and then so they send it to you and confirm through email, like, oh, well, you know, why isn't it this price, or this price is cheaper? One time I booked like 5 nights. That was actually supposed to be for June. And I found the rate cheaper like 2 months later, and they matched it and then gave me a credit on top of that. So while you were talking to somebody in Britain, I'm guessing maybe it's the time that you called, or which website you signed up for. That's the only thing I can think of. And just make sure it was the World Elite. Okay. So what other questions do we have? Did that answer the question?
I think so. I mean, Mike, if it didn't, or if you got a follow up, just you can go ahead and put it in the chat. Mississippi Rob asked one a while ago. He asked me specifically, which is great that people are asking me specific questions now, Bethany, and not just you. Have you ever earned any decent hotel offer from Cosmo through gambling? It says, I haven't gotten a player's card yet, so I'm wondering how much play would be necessary. I can't comment on very specific play. I think Steven in the chat said they want $50 and up for a blackjack player to get solid comps. I mostly stick to VP there, and they're very short sessions. It's usually like I'm doing a hit and run in Cosmo, just getting a drink and hanging out for a bit. So I haven't really gotten any good room offers or anything like that. But I suspect Steven's a smart guy, and so I think he's right on there. I mean, it's a swanky place, so they're gonna they want some money passing through there to give you some good offers. But I think, as Bethany pointed out, there are still opportunities to get some inexpensive access to Cosmo's rooms, especially if you're nearby and you're spending some time there and putting everything on your player's card. You could probably earn a decent amount of points fairly quickly there, and have some options available.
Yeah, so I have a data point for that. I've been playing there for a long time, and there have been times where I was probably averaging like 25 a hand for like a 2 or 3 hour session, because there was a point in time where I was not trying to earn Cosmo status ever at all, because I hated it since so I went during EDM, which is, I think it's the Electronic Dance Music Festival. I don't know.
Sounds right.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people walking around in like tutus with like blue hair, and it's just like not my scene. But
it's Tim's scene.
I can totally picture Tim with like blue hair and a tutu.
So you're talking about the Electric Daisy Carnival, right?
Yes. And why do you know that?
I have never been. I have considered going in the past, but then I realized, oh wait, I'm at an age now. I'd walk in, and whatever fumes are coming through would probably pass out from that alone. So I've decided against it. But yes, I'm aware of EDC. Yeah.
Okay, so it's
look,
EDC.
Bogan knew too. So Bogan also kind of weird.
Bogan. So basically, that's where they all stay. Like the entire EDC fan base stays at Cosmo. And I was so turned off by, 1, the clientele, and 2, having to wait 2 hours to get into an elevator to get to my room.
Yeah.
it must have been, it was like a good like 25 minutes. And then when you got in the elevator, it was like a bunch of people, like you weren't sure if this one was going to throw up. This one was like touching me. You know, I was like, this is terrible. So that was my first experience with Cosmo.
Did it touch your hair? Oh my God.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh God, we've had so many weird experiences in the elevators at Cosmo that it's almost like sometimes not worth like wanting to go back. But you know,
I like how we're in the middle of a pandemic and you're like, the elevators during EDC are a little too weird for me.
let me tell you something. I would rather get in an elevator right now with no face mask than the time that I was waiting during the earthquake with the EDC people.
I can see that.
Yeah, me too.
I actually yelled at a security guard that night because so this girl was laying on the floor puking and her top was off, and it was like it was a real scene, you know, in the middle of Cosmo. Like
that's an EDC commercial.
I couldn't quite see the scene well enough until I heard where her top was, and I was like, I see it now.
Now you see it, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you've been to Cosmo, there's 2 elevator banks. It was the main one, and this girl was just a mess. She's on the floor, and then there's these 2 guys trying to pick her up, and I'm like, you're not allowed to pick up this girl who's laying on the floor topless, puking on herself, right? Like somebody needs to help her, but I'm not going to touch her. So I went to get a security guard, and I was like, hey, guy, you got to help this girl. Like she, you know, is like, she needs help. He was like, it's not my fault she drank too much. And I was like,
yikes.
Might have done more than that too much.
You're a security guard. Things become your problem. That's the nature of your job.
Yeah.
The guy.
When she dies, will it be your problem? Because I think we're pretty close.
It was like, I don't usually, like, I don't blame anybody for anything. Like, I'm not, like, I don't get mad at people. I don't, you know, try to hoist things on other people's shoulders. But I was like, no, this is your problem. Go fix it. Like, go help this girl, because, you know, it was crazy. So anyway, I wrote them off for a while. And we did go there one night, and I remember playing like 3 hours, maybe like $25 to $50 a hand, but probably sticking at 25 because I remember losing, which usually means that I stay at the base. And I got comp nights.
That's good.
That was a few years ago though. So I don't know how things have trended, you know, which way, but it's definitely something to think about. And I find out with most casinos, right? Like where you're not playing at the rate that they tell you have to play at to get comps.
And there's an ebb and flow to it, right? I mean, I think you're right that it sometimes just kind of depends on a lot of things, some macro, some micro. There's a couple of related comments here. You know, Chris says he hasn't gotten any offers through gambling. His tend to come from a general spend, like on hotel and spa. And then Bogan says he used to get free rooms at Cosmo from VP Play, but he hasn't in a couple of years. It's kind of that ebb and flow, that cyclical stuff. Yeah. I mean, I think if you're playing at a heavy clip, you can probably get noticed a little bit.
Yeah, for the video poker conversation, VP Free 2 does claim that there is a full page Jacks or Better game there. I've never played there, so I'm unaware. But according to a reliable website, it does exist.
Interesting. Okay, so what is the base? So I'm not a VP player. So what do you guys find is like, what's your base play? Does it count how much you spend or how much you bet, and for how long for like comp or coin in?
Yeah, just coin in
slot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Couple really, I think if we want to round out here, a couple really good questions, Bethany. One from Steven says, are there any other non-MGM and non-Caesars Hotel partnerships worth exploring? So he's thinking of hotel / casino type things. I know Hilton has a little bit of a presence in Vegas with some partnerships there, but I don't know if there's any others that you're aware of.
I think Hilton is going to get better too, right? Because what's the one that they're supposed? Steven is sitting outside the door, by the way. I hear. So Steve, you don't need to.
He heard your EDC story, and he's like,
I don't even need to know this. I got it covered. But yes, so there's Venetian, Palazzo, and IHG, which I think, Adam, you might want to cover, right? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm slowly discovering some things there. But yeah, you can basically earn points there and then transfer them to the loyalty program. And then Hilton, and what hotel did they just buy or are they building? That's supposed to be like a big one.
Resorts World, Han actually just put that in the chat. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh yeah, Waldorf. Thank you, Gina. Not a hotel, but I mean, not a casino, but who cares? So I saw another question about that. Hey Bethany, if you thank you for addressing the star of the show solely. I haven't gotten any offers through gambling. Mine tend to come from general spend. Did we already talk about that?
Yeah, the one above it though, I think is a good one, maybe to potentially end on, or as you close it out, is the if you were starting fresh, no status or credit cards, would you grab a Hyatt or a Marriott card first?
Ooh, well,
you like Cosmo.
Yeah, but Cosmo's not
yeah,
the card is not going to give you anything that's worth using at Cosmo because you're going to use your entire spend, your entire bonus on one night free. Or alternatively, let's say you have a free night, you're not going to be able to use that either. So I'm going to go with Hyatt if I had to do the two because number one, you'll be able to get 2 free nights with the sign-up bonus, which I believe is 50,000 free nights, 50,000 points.
That'd be a lot of nights.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? Although I have currently 8 free nights at Marriott. No idea what I'm going to do with them. So yeah, I would go Hyatt because you're going to get a much better value per point, and the sign-up bonus will get you almost 2 free nights at any hotel in Vegas and up to 4 depending on what category you go. So yeah, that's what I would do. What would you do?
I would unmute myself first. I think I'd go with Hyatt. I'm more of an MGM fan anyway, and I think. I guess if you're starting over, I don't have access to any of the booking portals, but yeah, I think I'd still go with Hyatt. I just like the card better. I think and I like the brand better too. So if I think of outside of Vegas, I'm more of a Hyatt fan than a Marriott fan and their program. So
agree. Tim, we have a question for you.
Oh my goodness.
From Chauncey Street. Chauncey Street is that
on the Houston Portland match right now. I actually do not have action on that game right now. I had limited action today. I had like 2 games and that was it.
I mean, how many games were played today that you could even have action on?
Apparently even listened to the show in a while. No, I'm kidding. No,
I will tell you that since Eric left. No, I'm kidding.
I know. But now, yeah, Eric left. I mean, I got like 5 listeners, and I convinced Adam to listen on 2 different devices, right? So,
I'll do that for you too, no problem. But like when you edit videos, you're so sick of like listening to content that I've kind of stopped listening to podcasts for a little while.
Yeah. What was really interesting about the Better Life was. We would record it, and then I would hear it one more time in editing, and then Eric would hear it one more time post-production, right? But like and so it always got listened to technically 3 times by the 2 of us. But like most podcasters, once I'm done editing, like I don't listen to that again. Like why would I want to hear that over again? So it was nice to have a co-host that would listen to it after the fact and catch the things that I forgot to edit out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have any action on that game right now. Sorry, Chauncey. The no caches, the plus 320 caches.
Okay, that's not bad. Do you have?
Sorry, I thought another dog was going to make an appearance on the broadcast, but I guess not.
Oh, there's so many. If you want to meet them now, we have a question for Steve, who's sitting right outside the door. I just asked them to make me an old fashioned. They usually have Forester 100 as the base, which is great.
Yeah, I do have to say, so Steve asked what I usually order, and I just asked him for an old fashioned. I have to actually show you how bad I'm selling out right now. So one, I've got the Old Forester rocks glass. I have the Old Forester bottle right next to me, and you can't even see it. It's been hiding in plain sight. Where is it? The Old Forester hat pin.
Wow, you're like a big fan, huh?
Well, my sister works for Brown Forman, and she hooks me up with Old Forester. She's the one who helped everyone who did the TFB, Louisville thing, got their own one of these bottles too, which was
I
fun.
regret not going to that, by the way.
Yeah, because you could have got a custom bottle.
That's not why.
Oh, okay.
But I regret going to that.
Hanging out with Bogan, he was there.
Yeah, well, that would have been nice.
There. When was this?
This was February. That was my last trip before everything hit and everything had to be settled down. Yeah.
So I remember when I first met you, it was an event and your brother was there and he was just getting married. And you said that your sister had arranged like a scotch or whiskey tasting for you guys.
Yeah, it was a full whiskey tasting and an old fashioned, like a make your own old fashioned bar. So it's like an Old Forester basically sponsored the drink portion of his wedding. So we had like, I think we had 4 or 5 different Old Foresters. So they had the whole like whiskey row line up there with like the placards that said about it. You can go and taste it. And then they supplied a whole old fashioned station as well. It was pretty awesome. Yeah.
That is very cool. Okay, so does anybody? So we're allowed to go like a few minutes over. It's like up to 10 or whatever. So and yes, we don't. Have
I actually have a question for you, Bethany. Yeah. So you mentioned that you got a suite for a really good deal. I always ask this to people who get suites. What is the value for you in getting a suite? Because I know so many Vegas goers are like, I just need a bed and a decent shower and maybe some room to move around in. The only time I ever get like a spacious room is when I'm doing like a staycation or something to get some work done or something. But I very rarely acquire space when I'm in Vegas, right? I just want a room with a shot. So what is the value in that for you?
Okay, so first let me start off by saying that I have been in agreement with that point my entire Vegas career until I stayed at the Sky Suites. And they upgraded me to the 1-bedroom penthouse. And I have never looked back. And then when I stayed at the wraparound terrace suite at Cosmo, which is 1,300 square feet, the largest terrace you've ever seen. Imagine like it was July 4th, I think was my first time. It was my first time. It was July 4th. We had a view of the fireworks, and it is like literally just a corner terrace on a 1,300 square foot room.
It's awesome.
It's breathtaking. Like I'm not a big like. I don't care. I usually just like a really nice room. Like I'll take the base room at the nicest hotel because I want it to be like clean and nice. But it was like breathtaking, and you get used to it. I think that's the only way to describe it. Like, do I need it? No, I'll stay at Aria and just stay in like that little tiny room. But I mean, yeah, it's.
For Vegas Vacation 7, I think it was, and we did the whiskey tasting up in a Cosmo suite, and I mean it has to be one of my favorite Vegas experiences ever. We had just finished this whiskey tasting, and then we all went on the terrace to smoke cigars and watch the fountains and everything. I mean, I totally get the appeal of that experience, but to me that was unique because I went up to the room, had that experience, and then left.
Yeah.
I still have not personally found I couldn't see paying for that for 3 nights and finding the value in having that. I guess the terrace, I think, is what makes it different than most of the suites.
Yeah, I get the wraparound though.
Yeah, the ability to walk outside and do something might actually have me in my room a little more often than other suites in Vegas. But I mean, goodness, I can barely sleep when I'm in my room, let alone anything else. So.
Oh, same. So if you watch my video of my walkthrough of the room, there's like one point at the end where I'm going to bed, and so and it was just me by myself on that trip, and I upgraded. Steve was like, "Who do you think you are? Like staying in the 1,400 wraparound terrace suite by yourself?" I was like, "I don't know, I'm Bougie Miles. Like
Bougie Miles, man, deal with it."
Yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So the balcony, like for the bedroom, opens up to Planet Hollywood. And I felt like I was 40 feet away from like the sign. And it was just like so cool. Yeah. I was like, "Good night, Planet Hollywood." It's like within throwing distance. But yeah, so I think that's what it is. The weird thing about Cosmo compared to the others is that they don't offer any extra service. So like you're in this amazing room, nicest room in the hotel, other than obviously the private ones. And like the maid service is like kind of crappy.
That's nice.
Something to think about. Yeah, totally opposite of Sky Suites. Okay, so let's finish out the show with a couple of like fun questions. Favorite restaurants that you guys can't wait to go back to when we're in Vegas next?
Ooh.
I'll start just because I asked.
Am I by myself or do I have a companion to share a meal with?
Whichever you prefer. You know what? Do both, actually, because I have two different questions. I have two different answers for both. If I'm by myself, I'm going to Tekka in Cosmo. That's the sushi hand roll place. And if I'm with friends, I'm definitely going to Carbone. I probably stole Adam's, didn't I?
No, but now that I'm rethinking it, I love Carbone, yeah.
Because I want that spicy rigatoni all day.
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay, what about you guys?
I can go. Mine will both be in Mandalay Bay. Probably not. Well, one might be a little bit different. If I'm alone, I'll go to Libertine Social.
I've never been there.
Libertine Social. Everyone knows that I love it. Well, except for you. But I've talked about it a lot. I think for some people it might be hit or miss, but it's a small place. So if I'm by myself, I want to try a couple different things. They have a great cocktail program there too. But I say if I'm with a group, I'll go right across the little path there to Strip Steak. And the only reason is I went to Strip Steak with a huge bachelor party once. I think there were 12 of us at the table. And we all got different steaks, and one, I think someone got a tomahawk too. So I mean, these are different cook times, all that. They came out with all of our steaks at the exact same time, cooked to perfection. I mean, it wasn't maybe the greatest steak I've ever had. It was very, very good. It was definitely worth the price. But just the service there was so good that I'm like, yeah, I'll show some love to Strip Steak. I don't think it gets talked about too much, but yeah. So I'll stick with Mandalay Bay there in those two places.
That's fair.
So here's the thing about my Vegas experience. I've never really had a dining experience that was sort of at a level where like I really want to get back there. I mean, I am very much the typical gambler of give me somewhere I can grab a quick bite to eat, a nice burger, something like that, right? So I can get back to the tables or watch the game or whatever it may be. So with that said, that's
playing hot dog is what you're gonna say.
No. So when I'm with someone who's willing to share a plate with me, the better wife, Hash House a Go-Go is what we like. What are you talking? It is so good. I don't care. You can go ahead. You can do that all you want.
Portion sizes are massive.
Yeah, I mean it's the thing. Like we ordered something. The first time I ever went there was with her, and I was like, I'm so glad I brought you because I would not be able to finish this.
That's true.
And then I'm gonna get more thumbs down on this, but I don't care. As an East Coaster who used to live in California, the only time I can get in and out anymore is when I go to Vegas, and so. That is one of the things that I look forward to when I go to Vegas is if I'm in that part of the strip, I will make a point to go to In-N-Out to get some of that.
That's totally fair. No, that's a good one. To me, Hash House is like, let's just see how much crap we can dump on your plate for $10 and like see if it'll make you happy.
You've not been hungover enough in the morning. My goodness, you know how wonderful that is.
You're not going to the pool after Hash House. Like you're not doing anything.
That's true.
That is true.
Egg slut at Cosmo? I
haven't had egg slut. I didn't want to wait in that line.
Okay, I'm totally with you. Yes, kimchi fried rice. Yes. And hi PDX Deals guy. I can't believe he actually came to see us.
Can I throw in Secret Pizza as a runner up? Like there's something about like late night. I just got done watching the last game I had a bet on and wandering over to Secret Pizza for a slice.
Absolutely. And it's good food. I mean, I'm totally with you. Yeah. Egg slut. Let's talk about this. Figure it out. Get there at like 5:00 in the morning, which I've also seen a line at. Or be like the last person online because that is like the one thing. It's like a hangover cure. And they have this like sriracha ketchup that they put on everything. And oh God, it's so good. So just, you got to get there. And yeah, Secret Pizza I think is excellent. And then, okay, so last two quick fire questions. When do you guys think you'll be back?
I was supposed to be there in November for a conference for my wife. That's obviously not going to happen. And so probably not for another year or two, maybe, for me at least. Yeah.
Whoa, Tim?
I technically have a reservation on the books for the week of G2E, but I don't think G2E is going to happen. Therefore, I don't even think it's going to be my decision whether or not I go. I could entertain a early 2021 trip if I wanted to actually make it more, if I didn't want to go for like the casino gambling, but just wanted to have access to sports betting apps and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So depending on where sports leagues are and stuff like that, if there was enough action to be had in sports, I can see sort of enjoying sort of almost a personal work vacation that just was in a nice resort and something like that. But getting back is going back to enjoy what I normally enjoy in Vegas, a year at least.
Mm-hmm. So did you see that Bogan says G2E has been canceled?
Oh, I don't even see that. I mean, that's how. G2E has been canceled, so I'm definitely not going in October.
So would you guys go to like Atlantic City for any reason, like to golf, or I know you can't really drink or eat, right?
No, I mean, I probably not. I'm not really going to any casinos right now. I'm not spending too much time in them, but for the end of the year, I would probably not Atlantic City. No, I'd rather. I think my first big casino trip will still probably be Biloxi whenever I can squeeze enough time out of a trip.
Yeah. So as soon as we can get that going, that would be great. Obviously, we have to wait until it's safe and things are fun again. But yeah, I would love that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on.
A lot of fun.
Know that people will be able to hear this again as a podcast on TFB, which is really good for you because it's like easy content, right?
Yeah. And that's all I like.
I promise next time I won't look like I slept for 3 days before I came on.
You look great. We all look great.
I know we really do, but still, I'm gonna watch this video 1,000 times and like keep my hair every time. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a pleasure, and thank you guys so much for coming. And that's that. Oh wait, what Gina says? What about the Circa opening? I can't wait for that. By the way.
So that's the one thing I've been thinking of. If I go back to Vegas for a non-real Vegas experience, it'll be just to go to Circa to see it. I'll spend most of my time probably in my room or in select places of the resort, betting on sports, and that's all I'll do. But that's probably that's not this year. That's probably early next year. But that's probably the soonest I see myself really getting back to Vegas is to go to Circa.
All right, so I have an idea for that, and then we'll definitely leave. What if we booked like the 2-bedroom penthouse wraparound terrace suite and got a whole bunch of people to go just so that we can sports bet from our rooms? Everyone think about it.
You had me at sports bet.
I am so in for that.
I'll bring all my rave stuff.
PDX deals guy, I'll send you a video.
Big thanks to the chat today too. They were popping off. We couldn't get to all like the suggestions and comments. Hey, doggo. But yeah, big thanks to chat.
So yeah, guys, let us know what you think. Let us know what questions you have for next time. And next time we will cover something super fun. And Gina's coming, so we obviously have to do it. And she'll cook for us if we get.
If Gina's coming, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye.